Some have argued that the Western world as we know it owes its existence to the civilizations of Greece and Rome. Literature, philosophy, government, education, and architecture are just a few areas where Western culture is indebted to the classical world, which was very influential. But if we're looking at the moral and ethical foundations of things like human dignity, altruism, charity, human rights, and justice, you can thank Christianity. We see this sentiment expressed by novelist and award-winning historian Tom Holland. In one video, he describes the evolution of his own personal beliefs about the ancient world and what kind of debt the modern one owes to its ancient counterpart. When he was young, he fell in love with the classical world, but the more he read ancient literature, he realized that antiquity has much less to do with Western civilization than Christianity does. So let's take a look at a video where he discusses what he came to believe about the Roman world.
This is a really terrifyingly alien world, and the more you look at it, the more you realize that it is built on systematic exploitation. So the entire economy is founded on slave labor.
Right.
The sexual economy is founded on the absolute right of free Roman males to have sex with anyone that they want, any way that they like. And in almost every way, this is a world that is unspeakably cruel to our way of thinking. And so this worried me more and more. And it was kind of like, I was thinking, well, you know, I'm clearly not, as I'd vaguely imagined, the heir of the Greeks and the Romans in any way, really. And so where am I coming from? And it was like a kind of itch, you know, you get on your back and you think, you can't find it. And I began to realize that actually, in almost every way, I am Christian. And concepts of human rights, all these kind of things, ultimately, they don't go back to Greek philosophers. They don't go back to Roman imperialism. They go back to Paul.
Some of the humanists
Paul really
and atheists,
is, you know, his letters, I think, are, along with the four Gospels, the most influential, the most impactful, the most revolutionary writings that have emerged from the ancient world.
Tom Holland and many other historians oppose the assumption that values like equality, human dignity, and compassion stem from the classical world. If you want a basis for equality between the sexes, look at the Bible, particularly books like Genesis, Galatians, and the pastoral epistles. You definitely shouldn't be looking to antiquity, where women were treated like second-class human beings. If you want a high standard of sexual ethics, you need to look to the New Testament, instead of the heavily misogynistic cultures of Greece and Rome, where women were viewed primarily as sexual objects. If you'd like to get the best sense of human worth, you'd never look to the culture that participated in gladiatorial games, human trafficking, and child exposure. If you want to get the most human definition of love thy neighbor, once again, you're going to have to look at the Bible, which teaches that every human being is made in God's image. You'd probably find classical society's definition to be much less appealing. They would probably have said, if you want to be kind to your neighbor and treat them as an equal, well, that's probably a good thing, as long as your neighbor looks like you, speaks the same language you do, and isn't a slave or a foreigner, and probably isn't a woman either. In short, if you want to know where the Western world got its ethical compass, you can thank Christianity.